What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel CDL Cigar and Golf. We are here at the beautiful Chocolate City El Septimo Cigar Lounge right here in downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, owned by my guy, Mr. Johnny Yancey. Look, man, I got a special guest with me today, man. I call him the credit tycoon. Yeah, man, self-made. Anything you want to know about personal credit, business credit, lines of credit, credit cards, anything credit, you can get it from this guy right here, man. I got Mr. Will Roundtree in the building, man. What's good with you, bro?
Pleasure, bro.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, man, pulling
Pleasure
up,
mine,
bro.
all mine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you pulling up, man. The moment I asked you, man, I approached you out of nowhere, man. You ain't know me from Adam, bro. And you were so personable, man, and I appreciate that.
No,
bro.
100%, man.
Big time, man.
No, definitely.
Big time, man. Yeah. Look, man, let's get into it, man. So I like to ask all my guests, you know, before we get into what they actually do, you know, for a living, I like to, you know let them in on a little background, bro. So originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, sir. 414.
Man.
Bucks and six.
Come on, man. Bucks and six. I like it. I love it, matter of fact. Tell the people, man, what it was like for you, man, growing up in the city of Milwaukee, man, because a lot of people wouldn't look at Milwaukee unless you've been there.
Facts.
The amount of African American people that reside there.
It's a black city.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, so growing up in Milwaukee, you know, always say the Midwest, first of all, it's a bit unique because from a business and entrepreneurship and just a growth standpoint, even more in Milwaukee, we didn't have like the heroes.
Yes.
We didn't have the rappers who made it out at the time. We didn't have a movie star. Like our sports team wasn't as popular as it is now. So we looked up to the D-boys, the drug dealers, the pimps, the gangbangers. Like we looked up to anybody who was just getting money, even though it was a part of destruction of our people. And so I often say, like, if you make it out the Midwest, you had to be very strong mentally because you had to be able to succumb all of the things that could have drawn you in. And I often tell people that, you know, it's not easy to get out the Midwest because we don't get to see a lot of the other paths where we can go. We don't, you know, so it's not like LA where you can escape places from the inner city of LA. You know, fortunately, we was an hour away from Chicago, but because we're the cousin, we're the cousin of Chicago,
right,
we got a lot of the remnants of what Chicago got stereotyped for, the gangs and all of that stuff. So just coming out of Milwaukee, I will say the good thing that helped us in the Midwest as a whole, most of our family from the South. So we still have a lot of that Southern roots and that Southern hospitality. And I always say what saved me, my parents sent me to live in Mississippi after my freshman year. So imagine going from the city of Milwaukee to now I'm living on a farm.
Boy.
120 acres with 3 houses.
Oof.
So I'm in a garden. I'm on a tractor. I'm like I chopping wood. I mean, I didn't have a television.
That's right.
You know, those years I was living with my grandparents. So it not only slowed life down for me. Right. I think if I hadn't moved to Mississippi, my life would be different because everybody who I grew up with in Milwaukee is dead or in jail. All my friends that are on my block.
Yes.
Yeah,
man. And it's crazy, man, because all of my folks from the South, man, all my folks from East Texas, man, both sides. And even though I was born and raised here in Vegas, being able to go down south, going to East Texas and live and see how they live.
100%.
And still that worked at the beginning. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Different.
It's different. It's different in the South, man.
It's
totally different, man. Yeah. So for you, man, what was the turning point for you when you realized what you wanted to really get into as far as what you do now, you know, being in the credit industry?
Honestly, I didn't know at first.
Wow.
You know, I always tell people my journey was a little bit unique because I got into entrepreneurship when it wasn't popular. Mm-hmm. I started my entrepreneurship journey in 2005 or 2003.
Right.
I was in a network marketing company. Mm-hmm. Didn't even know what entrepreneurship meant. Mm-hmm. But once I got in, I learned about personal development first. And I often tell people, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to work on your personal development. Because everything that you don't want to go wrong will go wrong in entrepreneurship. And And the mindset component of entrepreneur, or just mindset period, is so important because people think mindset is about thinking positively.
Right.
Mindset is about how do you react when things go wrong.
Yes, sir.
And you have to be able to overcome that. And so when I got into entrepreneurship, got into network marketing, moved to Las Vegas in 2005, and everything went wrong. I had $500 to my name. I'm sleeping in my car. I didn't know anybody. I'm, couch surfing. I couldn't find stable employment. But it was something a mentor taught me back in '03 that stuck with me in '05. He said, "Will, eventually credit will become the new dollar." And I didn't even know what he meant by that. But when I started to see that every aspect of my life, credit was a determining factor, I was like, oh man, I can't buy a car. I can't rent an apartment. Like I couldn't do anything. And this is in '05.
Right.
And so from that point, I remember picking up the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, reading it, even though they told us about it in network marketing, but I didn't take it serious. And I started to learn about concepts of money, because it's one thing, we're all coming up in any neighborhood, especially for a lot of us blacks, we know how to make money.
Absolutely.
Whether it's legally or illegal.
Right.
We know how to make money.
Absolutely.
But we haven't been taught what money is.
Yes, sir.
And so once I started to learn about credit, I started to learn about money. Then I started to learn that it's not even about money, it's about economics. And so when I got into this industry, I honestly didn't get into this to make money, because credit wasn't popular like it was in '05.
Right.
Matter of fact, my very first credit company I set up in 2007, I was probably one of the only blacks in this industry. And you got frowned upon if you told somebody you did credit. It was almost like, you do that? But once I started getting in rooms of people who didn't look like me, and I saw how they played the game of credit, and that's when I was like, oh, this is how they play this game. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of stumbled into it because of my own misfortunes and my own financial ruins, and I started to learn the importance of it. I never got into it initially to be a credit guy. It just kind of happened that way.
Yeah, man. That's always a good thing, man, when it's done organically. Right. We spoke about things being organic, man. When you don't get into something strictly for the end game goal, right? It's the process. It's working through the process, man. Because if you learn how to work through the process of anything, you're gonna be successful.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think the hardest part for people is that most of the time people getting into something because of where their life is at, so they're looking for immediate results. It's like person like, oh man, I got a wedding coming up, I gotta lose 15 pounds.
Right.
Not knowing you should have started last year.
Long time ago.
You should have started losing weight last year. You still eating them. You still eating them.
Yeah, you still eating.
You know what I'm saying?
Still
and so
eating powdered donuts, man. Stop it.
And that's how we live our life. It's like we only want to make a change when we're forced. And then when we're forced, we're looking for the results today. And so one of the things, even in this credit space, a person will only want to focus on their credit because they got to move, or they need to buy a new car, or they're trying to get student financial aid, or whatever their circumstance is, and not knowing that the credit repair isn't what fixed the credit.
That's right.
Their mentality is what fixed the credit.
Absolutely, man. 100%, man. I agree with it 100%, man. Look, man, CDL Cigar and Golf, man. I'm your guy, Donnell Thomas, man. I got the great Mr. Will Roundtree here.
Pleasure's all mine,
today, man. Look, now we all know, man, looking at credit scores can be a little bit intimidating. If you that guy that got the 550, and you looking across from you, and it's a dude with a smooth 800, knowing you can't do what this man can do, right? And that's automatic, man. But for a lot of people, but what are some of the biggest myths that you've come across about credit repair?
Well, first of all, the score is a myth, because a person can have a 500, but that doesn't mean they got bad credit. They just don't have enough. And so the score can be daunting because we haven't been educated on what makes up the score. So for example, you can have one thing on your report and it's a $300 secure card and you just have it maxed out. And you maxed it out because life happened.
Of
And you can have a 400 credit score just with that.
Right.
Doesn't mean you got bad credit. You just got bad financial. You just got bad habits.
Yeah.
Or you didn't understand that utilization makes up the bulk of your score, and you have nothing else to calculate the other components of what helps the score. So even when I work with people, I always correct them when they say I'm just a credit guy. No, I'm really more of a coach. I'm really more of a financial strategist, because most people who even go through credit repair, 60% of them end up back in the same position because they don't understand why their score is that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about giving them the keys to understanding how to make sure that their credit is impacted positively. And if it is impacted negatively, what's impacting it? So for example, I get people who will come to us all the time and we'll get all of the negative items off, but their score doesn't move. And then they think that we didn't do our job. And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not that. It's your credit cards are maxed out. So the largest component of what makes up your credit score is impacting your score, not the negative items. So we have to also educate. So that's why my program is more of coaching. It's not just repair. So even when you join our program, we have a monthly credit call, because I need you to be educated so that you don't end up back in these situations, because I got to help you break your habits, not just fix your score.
Absolutely, man. And I don't think people really truly understand that. Like, you can go get your credit repaired all you want. If you still got the same habits, you're going to end up right back in the same spot.
You're probably going to end up worse.
Probably going to end up worse.
You're going to end up worse.
You're going to end up worse.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, you get a taste of having good credit. The first thing you're going to do is go get a bunch of credit cards. But here's where people mess up at. They think credit is income.
Right.
So now they're spending the credit not knowing that their income didn't increase. And that's still money you got to service the debt on. But because they look at the $25 payment and not the $1,000 charge,
oh man!
But they didn't calculate that their income didn't increase. And so most of the time, people are already living at the tilt of their income. But they don't calculate for the incremental charges on the credit card, so they end up finding themselves in financial ruin. And that's why I always say, like, credit isn't income. Credit really is just a tool to be able to position you to be able to make your money grow faster. And so that's why I don't use my credit for consumer purchases. I use my credit to go and make investments.
Absolutely. No question about it, man. So for somebody listening right now with poor credit, flat out poor credit, man, what's the very first step you recommend that they take right now today?
First of all, they have to get out of denial. Because I meet a lot of people who won't even look at their credit because they know it's poor.
Y'all, that's a gem right there. I don't even think y'all really understood what that man just said, bro. That's a gem right there, bro. Because most people would be thinking, oh man, maybe I need to, just pay down the cards, or, do this, do that. No, get yourself out of denial.
Get out of denial.
You suck. You suck at finances.
Real talk. And a lot of people credit get bad just because they don't open their mail. Something comes in the mail and they could have prevented their credit from getting in that position. But I remember I had a client where he was like, oh, Will, I don't open my mail. I was like, bro, you 40. Open your mail.
Open your mail, bro.
Like, nobody gonna come beat you up through so open your mail, because a lot of the times, man, people, like, prime example, Credit One Bank. They're, believe it or not, they're the #1 credit card issuer in North America. And with their credit product, they don't give you a high credit limit. And their annual fee is broken down over the course of 12 months. And so a person will assume, who just got a Credit One credit card, oh, I don't have a balance, but they'll forget the annual fee is you have to pay that monthly. That's like $7.99 a month. So because they don't open their mail, they'll get a late payment on a $300 credit card and didn't even know because they didn't open their mail. So now their credit is ruined over a $300 credit card because they didn't open their mail to make a $7 payment on the annual fee that they got to pay monthly. So sometimes just having awareness, getting out of denial. And here's the thing that I always tell people, man, we got to become more organized.
Yes,
my people.
Yes, sir.
We have to get more organized because, man, I meet so many adults that operate like children.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so we have to get more organized. We got to start working on our level of professionalism.
Yes,
And we have to become more financially fiscal
Yes.
and understand, like, look, it's your responsibility to make that payment.
Yeah.
People will get mad because they'll make a charge, and let's say they go to a restaurant and they're unsatisfied with the service, and the credit card issuer won't reverse the payment just because they didn't like the lamb chops.
Right.
And then the person will say, well, I'm not going to pay the bill because I didn't like the service. Like, we have to stop acting like children, man. And we gotta grow up, 100%, man. 100%. So just getting out of denial is the first thing. 2, pull your credit reports.
Yes, sir.
You'd be surprised how many people don't check their credit frequently.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing, debt can sit out there for up to 3.5 years. So you can have something that may not have been on your report today, but now it's time for you and your spouse to go buy a house, and that medical bill that's been sitting out there from when you was 18 lands on your report, and now you jammed up. So pull your credit report, look at it monthly. And people will be like, oh, well, I don't want to pay for that fee. Look, you got insurance on your phone, but you won't have insurance over your finances.
That's crazy.
Credit monitoring is like insurance on your finances. So pull your credit, look at it, from there, pay your bills on time.
That's really half the battle.
That's 80% of the battle.
That's most of the battle.
Pay your bills on time.
Your bills on time, man.
You know what I'm saying? And so put your bills, if you can afford to put it on auto pay, because I understand how some people have irregular payment structures.
Right.
Pay your bill, calendar your bill, pay your due dates.
Yes, sir.
If you know your bill, if this bill is due on the 17th, put it on your calendar for the 10th.
Yep.
So you have a 7-day ramp up so that you don't forget. And so just like it's basic things, man. It's not about having a bunch of money. It's not like, and then once you do get the credit, leverage it responsibly.
That's right.
If you know, if you're trying to use your credit cards to go to a concert or whatever the case may be, just understand you have to pay that back. So it's really minor stuff, man. And I think that because we're adults, we overcomplicate life because we think things should be more complicated when we get older. Yeah. And that's really not the case, man.
It's supposed to be easy.
It's supposed to. It's supposed. Operative word. Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
Absolutely, man. Look, man, big gems getting dropped right here, man, by my man, Mr. Will Roundtree, man. I'm your guy, Donnell Thomas, man, CDL Cigar and Golf. We are here with the great Mr. Will Roundtree, man. Look, just to that point, man, I got a follow up. Many people don't realize credit impacts more than just loans,
man.
Right? Can you talk about how credit plays a role in building wealth and financial freedom?
Well, before I even get to that part, it can actually impact your ability to make income. I have had clients who couldn't get a job in a particular industry because of their credit.
Look, I can attest to it. I've been in law enforcement for 20 years.
Oh yeah, if you got bad credit, you can't get hired.
They're not going to hire.
You cannot get hired.
You can't get hired on most law enforcement agencies with bad credit.
You can't.
They're not going to let you do it.
If you're trying to become an attorney, once you come out and take your bar exam, if your credit is like bad, you can't get your law license. No. Any financial institution, any banking. I had a client who was trying to get a job at Southwest Airlines. She couldn't get hired. She's trying to get an insurance license, Series 6, Series 7. Like, if your credit is in shambles, if you work for the government, you can't get certain government clearances.
They're not gonna let you
if your credit is bad. And so credit is the barometer for most of our day-to-day living. And it has a lot of it has a lot of gaps, or it opens up a lot of gaps for so many people because their life is limited, because they're only looking at credit from a consumer standpoint. You know what I'm saying? So going into your point, I tell people every day, man. So recently, you know how the lottery got up to like $1.7 billion. I tell people, man, credit is a winning lottery ticket. And when I articulate it like that, I say because there's very few places in the world where you can go and have nothing and walk into any bank in North America, as long as you have a good credit score, and be able to get a credit card, a line of credit, personal or business, for $50,000.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's nowhere else in most countries, they don't even have a credit system. And when I started to study all of the wealthy individuals, and this is why I say it's important for us to understand the economics of credit. See, when you look at a hedge fund, all a hedge fund is them going out sourcing capital from individuals.
Yep. Yep.
My individuals or my investors are the banks.
Yep.
Because here's another thing I learned. The reason wealthy individuals source capital is because when you borrow debt, you don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that this is not a game about who can make the most amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's about who can source the most amount of capital, pay the least amount of taxes,
Mm-hmm.
and find vehicles that have paid them for, that can pay them, on a multiple on their money.
Correct.
So when I'm talking to people, I'm often like, here's why the average person can't compete. And I'll ask you a question. For every dollar you make, how much does it cost you? At minimum.
For every dollar that you make, I mean, you're looking at minimum 33%.
Easily, because of taxes. But every dollar I borrow, I don't pay taxes on that.
Yeah.
So off top, a person who doesn't play this game can't compete. That's because right. They're only operating at a 70%.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that other 70% is probably tied up, or they're over leveraged because they're trying to live off of the whole dollar.
Most likely.
They don't even calculate the 30% tax.
Not at all.
Versus me, my income is going to do what it do, but then I can go to the bank and leverage that money tax free to be able to put into a vehicle that's going to pay me. And as long as this services the debt, so for example, I love real estate.
Yes, sir.
So let's say I go buy a property and I know the mortgage is going to be $1,000.
Yeah.
As long as it pays me $1,200 to $1,500 a month, which you can't live nowhere in North America for under $1,200. I don't care if it's in a D class neighborhood.
It's not gonna happen.
As long as my debt is being serviced, I'm not trying to get rich off that one property. I'm trying to compound the net rental income. So if I make $300 to $500 off of 25 doors, that's how I get to the $10, $15, $20, $30,000 a month. I'm not trying to get rich off that one property.
That's right.
And my debt is being serviced by the assets.
That's right.
But then, which takes it to that next level, I'm not even counting the money in the rental income.
Mm-hmm.
I'm counting the asset portfolio worth.
Yes, sir.
So now I done stockpiled 10, 15 doors or 10, 15 homes. Now I have a portfolio worth $3-4 million. Now I go borrow against the portfolio. And did you know you can borrow $500,000 against your rental portfolio, and $500,000 at a 30% loan at a 30-year term at a 9% rate, which rates are lower than 9% right now. That's only $4,700 a month. So I've learned the economics of credit, the economics of debt, the economics of money, and then I've made it a mathematical equation, not an emotional.
Yes, sir.
So when I leverage debt, I don't care how much it costs me as long as it can service itself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of this spending out here is real emotional spending.
That's all it is.
It's emotional spending,
bro. Oh, I deserve this.
No.
You're buying from an emotional standpoint, and we've all been there. Yeah. I've made some dumb purchases before.
Absolutely, no question.
You know what I'm saying? But even and I still have made dumb purchases. But at least I have the assets that pay it. Will Roundtree don't have to pay for it.
Exactly.
The assets do. We have to get to that point, man, where you can afford to have a mistake. Most people cannot afford to make a financial misstep right now because they're a half of a paycheck away from being in financial ruin.
Wow. Wow, man. Look, man, some real live gems being dropped here tonight at Chocolate City, man. I'm your guy, Donnell Thomas. This is CDL Cigar and Golf. I got my main man, Mr. Will Roundtree in the building, man. Now, you're also big on teaching entrepreneurs how to build business credit.
Absolutely.
Which this is the nitty gritty right here, man. In my opinion.
Absolutely.
Anyway, man, building business credit. Why is separating personal and business credit so important?
All right, let me take a sip before I answer
please
that.
do, man. I'm gonna take a sip with you, man. I'm gonna take a sip with you, man, because business credit is a real thing, man. I don't think enough people really know how to use and how to go about obtaining business credit.
Well, the first thing I'll say is that Most of the stuff on the internet about business credit is outdated information. 75%. And here's what I mean. Well, first let me answer your question. The reason it's important is because you wanna separate the person.
Yeah. Yep.
So Donnell is a person. Then your company is a person.
Yes.
They should have their own
Yes.
entities because
Absolutely.
you're filing tax returns separately for both of them.
Absolutely.
And so I don't want to spend money as an individual because I'm taxed at the highest tax bracket. I want to spend money as a business owner because then my business I can pass through my income to Will Roundtree, so I pay the least amount in taxes. And so before we go down that rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the game, this is really a tax game that we have to learn how to play.
Yes, sir.
Because you can make $1 million and you're gonna be taxed the bulk of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like prime example, I have a lot of friends that play in the NBA.
Yes, sir.
When they get $1 million contract, 50% of it is gone in taxes.
It's gone, especially if you live in Cali.
No, that's everywhere because they got to pay a tax for every state they play
everywhere they go. Absolutely.
But guess what? They're trying to live off the million. See, but if I set up a business and I go borrow $1 million, I can leverage that entire million. And so the reason business credit is so important, a couple of reasons. One, there's few regulatory laws in place as far as business credit. There's very few regulatory laws as far as when it comes to business credit because there's no cap at how much your business can borrow. But as an individual, you're capped at how much you can borrow.
Right.
And so it's one thing that they'll cap you because on the personal side, they'll cap you based upon your DTI.
Yeah.
On the business side, they look at what's called your DSCR, your debt service coverage ratio.
Right.
So as long as that the things that you're leveraging the debt for can cover the debt, and it's at a 1 to 1.2% coverage ratio, they'll loan you the money. So now your income doesn't play a role in how they determine what they'll lend you on a personal side. But on the personal side, if you make $30,000, you're capped at how much you can borrow. But on the business side, I can use projected revenues and say that my business is going to do $300,000, and then they're looking at, okay, what am I leveraging this credit for? And they calculate a debt servicing versus my debt to income ratio. So that's why business credit is important. Now, from a standpoint of why most information on the internet is outdated, because people are still trying to do net 30s and do all of this stuff. I'm gonna tell you, it'll take you 2 years to be in position to get real credit on the business side. Because first of all, and here's how I always ask people, or here's what I always tell people: why would a bank give you a line of credit for $50,000 and you're ordering ink pens for $50?
That's crazy.
Mathematically, it doesn't even make sense.
Don't even make sense.
And so the reason a lot of people don't get the results or get the amount of capital they need to be able to actually deploy because they're utilizing outdated strategies.
That's right.
And so once you really learn the real strategies on how the real corporate credit game is played, and not just going out there to get credit just to say, oh, I got a credit card. Like here's how real can I be on this, man?
Man, you can be as real as
man,
you like.
We got.
Look, man, this is CDL
All
Cigar and
right,
Golf,
I always
man.
got to check.
We are real here, man.
Okay, I always
It's nothing
sometimes
realer
gotta
than this,
check,
man.
Look, we got to stop playing this game like the credit crackhead game.
Come on, man.
We be playing these games like we play the credit game or the financial game like poor people.
Yes, sir.
And we have to get out of that window because we only do things because it looks cool. We don't do nothing based off of profitability. Because if that was the case, we would make better decisions with our finances. We would make better decisions with our credit. We only want to do something because it's fly.
Yeah.
And the only reason the credit game is popular as it is because most of the people from the streets came and made it look fly.
Yes, sir.
But then that's why most of the people who get trapped up in that is stuck financially, and why so many people are ruined in that area. For prime example, how is it that, and this is a rhetorical question, but you can answer it.
Yes, sir.
How is it that we had one of the greatest opportunities to amass the most amount of money during the pandemic, but people are in a worse financial situation now?
Crazy.
Because they didn't understand how to actually leverage that debt. We went out there to look fly.
Yes, sir.
People bought bigger cars, increased their living expenses, took more extravagant trips. and own nothing. We did everything trendy, but nothing to actually own any assets. And so, and until we really understand that credit is not income, you have to actually. And when I hear people talk about generational wealth, but then they invest in things that doesn't give them ownership. So how are you building wealth off something that I can come and take from you? You know what I'm saying? That Toro business is not building wealth.
No.
That Toro business is not building wealth.
It's not.
And so we have to get back and really understand the basics that this is an economic game. This is bigger than just credit. And so understanding why business credit is so important is because there's very few regulatory laws that gives you a head start of being able to position yourself to be able to have money to utilize for investment opportunities. That's really the only reason why people leverage credit.
Man. Look, y'all, man, it's bars being dropped here, man. CDL Cigar and Golf, man. I'm your guy, Donnell Thomas, man. I'm here with the great Mr. Will Roundtree, man. Switching, man, absolutely, man. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Because I think, man, as a culture, we need to see one of us doing this, man, and being successful at it in order for it to get through people's brains, man. I don't really think it's clicking because people aren't seeing us be successful at it. And even when they do, they think it's too good to be true.
I don't even think that's the full answer. I'll tell you what I think it is.
I'm listening. I learn something new every day.
I think the reason why a lot of us don't participate in it because we haven't swagged it out. I'm telling you, man, we only want to do stuff that look cool. Because at the end of the day, here's the reality. Attempting to position yourself to amass wealth is boring because there's nothing that you can invest in that's going to make you rich tomorrow.
That's right.
Now, you have your little pops like the GameStop and the NVIDIA and all of this stuff. But here's the thing, man, like that's like catching lightning in a bottle. Really, and most people don't get in early enough because we only wait till something popular to invest. We want to wait till Bitcoin is 200,000 when we could have got in even at 3,000.
Could have got in at 3.
We want to buy real estate at 2 million when we could have got in at 200,000. But and I think some of that is psychological because we like to brag about how much we spent. We never like to brag about how much we invest. I spent 500 for these shoes. That don't mean that they fly. Wow. So we do stuff from a flamboyant standpoint and not necessarily from an economical standpoint. And that's why this game still hasn't positioned enough people to where we are owning our owning our own legacy. And it brings a point. I was watching an interview recently about this guy who was talking to like this gentleman who was in a Jewish community who was extremely successful. And he asked us, he said, why do you think it's hard for a lot of blacks to be successful financially? And he said, because you guys only focus on consumerism.
Biggest spenders on planet Earth. We're the biggest spenders.
We do things out of the necessity of, look at me. Our dollar only circulates 6 hours while theirs circulates over 25 days in other communities. And this is why I push real estate because the only way we can take back and being able to own our neighborhoods is we got to own the land. And that's why I say he who owns the land controls man.
Yes, sir.
We don't even control our own neighborhoods because we don't own them.
Unbelievable.
We don't own them.
Unreal stuff, man. Big bars, bro. Big bars right there, man.
Thank you.
Look, the credit repair industry has changed so much over the years. What trends do you see shaping the future of the credit and financial education?
Man, you know what's so interesting? I'm kind of biased because people think that the industry is saturated.
Mm-hmm.
And they only think that because a lot of people make decisions based off the 3,000 people they follow on their social media. Most people make decisions based off their algorithm on social media.
That's real.
Not knowing that it's people every day who turn 18.
Yeah,
it's a new crop of people who 21 who
every day
credit got ruined from college.
Mm-hmm.
It's people every day who
I signed up for a credit card for a t-shirt.
You got the free slice of pizza too.
Got a free slice of pizza, a t-shirt. Come on, man. We did it.
So it's so many people who they haven't even been through life to understand that, oh, my credit got tarnished, I can fix it. So I think that because there's such a, and I don't even want to use the word dark cloud, but because we only look at based upon the proximity of our neighborhood, our zip code, our social media followers, or people who we follow, we always assume that that's an industry that's tarnished or ruined.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Because when you look at it at the grand scheme of things, man, I go in rooms where people they have net worths of a minimum of $250,000 to $500,000, and they still got bad credit, and they don't even know about this process. Wow. But we only focus on targeting the lower half of people economically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have judges, I have professional athletes. I've worked with people who needed their credit fixed, who got Hollywood stars. You know what I'm saying? So where I see this industry going is that we have to stop looking at it as a hustle and leverage it as opportunities to really, get us in a position, man.
Yeah. I'm with that, man. 100%, bro. 100%, man. So looking back, and we talked earlier about the mistakes, financial mistakes that we've all been down that road and we've all made, man. So looking back, man, what's the biggest mistake that you see people make with credit that could be totally avoided, bro?
They think it's income.
Yep.
They think it's income. This is what I tell people.
Yep.
Most people live off of their gross income.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know their number. So when I sit down with people, the first thing I ask them when we're putting together like a financial game plan, I say, do you know your number? And they're like, oh yeah, I made 50,000. I said, no, that's how much the company said they pay you.
Right.
That's not what go through your bank account.
That ain't what you made, bro.
Let's calculate your expenses, how much you spent in snacks and
everything,
coffee,
bro.
and
all that,
probably your weed bill, everything. We need to calculate down to the penny.
We gotta put it all in there.
We need to calculate it all because I need to know what your number is.
Right.
Because when you go out there and you're leveraging credit or trying to grow a business and become an entrepreneur, because you are going to need credit, you need to be able to know what your risk tolerance is.
That's right.
And so many people get over leveraged because they look at credit like income, not knowing that money still has to be replaced from your income that you're already has squeezed.
Yep.
And so the biggest mistake is people don't really understand that credit is really just a tool.
That's right.
It's not good or bad. It doesn't have feelings. It can't talk to you.
Right.
It don't. Right. It's like credit is a tool. No different than if you're a carpenter. A great carpenter has great tools. Yeah. A great investor knows how to leverage credit.
That's right.
So yeah.
Correct, man. Look, man, CDL Cigar and Golf. I'm your guy, Donnell Thomas. I'm here with the great Mr. Will Roundtree, man. So if you could give your younger self a piece of money advice, what would it be,
man? The best money advice is I would have never focused on saving money. I would have learned how to invest.
Because I think we really, especially us as Black folk, man, we try to, when we do, we try to save our money. When we do, it's save instead of finding a vehicle or a tool to invest in to make that money grow. We
Well,
don't think about it.
We don't, because unfortunately that's what we've been taught.
Yeah.
And so the thing I always tell people is, when you look at it mathematically, banks only pay you interest off 10% of your money in the bank.
Yep.
They loan out the other 90% to people like yourself and myself.
Yes, they do.
So I tell people, I make more money off your money in the bank than you make off your money in the bank.
Than you do.
And so, but because we've come up with these cute cliches like save for a rainy day, and then you find out it always rains.
It's always raining, man.
And so
it's raining right now.
It's rain. It actually did rain today. And so we have to learn how to invest for a rainy day.
That's right.
Because here's the thing that I always tell people. I would rather take every dollar I have and put it into to hard commodity assets.
Yeah.
Because then when I need to get liquid, I can borrow against it tax-free.
Yep. Yep.
But if my money is sitting in the bank, first of all, it's costing me to.
Yes, it is.
The bank is charging me to hold my money.
Yep.
2, I'm eventually gonna spend it.
Yes, you are.
And thirdly,
some gonna come up.
Some gonna come up. And thirdly, it never grows.
Nope.
But if I'm putting it into this house, I already know that statistically I'm gonna get a 4 to 7% appreciation rate. Plus, I'm gonna have forced appreciation through pay down from the rents I'm collecting. So why not would I put my money in a vehicle where I know I'm getting a guaranteed 7% return?
Yes.
And that's on a bad year.
Yeah.
That's a bad year. So I would have learned how to say, I would have learned how to invest early.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and stop being scared. Because that's really what it boils down.
Scared.
But when people tell me they're scared, I'm like, how are you scared to invest, but you're never scared to spend? You got every pair of red bottoms, every Jordan, whether fake or real.
Don't matter. Don't matter. You still got it.
You still got, like, you're scared to invest, but you're not scared to spend. Man. It blows my mind.
Unbelievable.
It blows my
stuff,
mind.
Man. Look, man. CDL Cigar and Golf. I'm your guy, Donnell Thomas, man. Y'all are catching some real gems right here. And when this episode hit, Lord have mercy, man. Lord have mercy. Look, man, last question for you, bro. What's next for you, man? Any projects coming up? New books? Because that's what I didn't include in your intro, man. You're an author as well.
3 times.
3 times.
3 times.
What's next for you, man? Let the people know what's next for you, brother.
Definitely, man. You know what's so interesting, Donnell? Yeah. I'm not even in a place where it's about making money for me.
That's real.
Like, growing up, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Sir.
I was told by the age of 21 I'd be dead or in jail. I've been homeless. I've lost everything twice. I was on the verge of bankruptcy. I've been sued. Wow. I've went through everything negatively financially that one could think about. Yeah. And I've made it out.
That's right.
And if I never made anything, if I never accomplished anything else, I've beat the odds.
That's real. It's a real thing.
And so now my focus right now is about legacy, man.
That's real.
And so even to the point, my son, who's 15 years old, I just closed on a 4-unit deal last Friday. My son is part owner of it.
Wow. Wow.
And so my focus now is my son is going to be a nepotism baby.
Yeah.
We don't do that enough.
No, we don't. They got mad at LeBron for doing that.
Yeah, no.
Are we getting mad at our people for nepotism? They do it all the time, right?
I'm creating a nepo baby.
Come on, man.
And more importantly, I don't call him my kid. I call him my heir.
That's real.
And so it's about me creating that legacy, because now that I'm positioning him, he's 15. This is his first property he owns, and it's already cash flowing. I've set my son up so by the time he's 18, he's going to have 3 options that most young kids will never have. Yeah. 1, if he decided to go to college, he can borrow against the real estate, and his college will be paid for, and the tenants will pay the bill. And let's just say for whatever reason, life get in the way and life happened, he can file bankruptcy against that. You can't discharge student loan debt in a bankruptcy.
Because they file bankruptcy too, man.
So they do. So I've protected his financial future in case he has a mishap. Because student loan debt holds black people back like a plague.
Look here.
So that's one option he has. 2,
it got me.
If he decides to start a business, he can borrow against the asset, go out there and start a business, and not be at the helms of positioning himself to go out there and operate business from an unintegral way, because he's not worried about paying the money back. The asset will pay the money back.
Correct.
Or
Correct.
third, if my son decides to start a family, he can borrow against that property and go buy a house for him and his family. And he doesn't have to figure out where the down payment come from. He ain't got to go work 5 jobs and kill himself mentally, physically, psychologically, and all of that. And the tenants are going to pay for the down payment. So my son is going to go into life understanding how money works and not worrying about like, oh, how I'm going to come up with money for school or how I'm going to start my business and do it. Like, so no, that's so my focus, what's next for Will Roundtree is really building a legacy, man.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's about.
Yes, sir. What Randy Moss say? Straight cash, homie. Straight cash. Look, man, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
Vibing with you, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Bro,
Pleasure's all mine.
for popping up on Links and Legends podcast, man. Let the people know where to find you, man. Throw all your socials out there, man. Throw your book titles out there, man. Let the people know where they can find you, brother.
Definitely. So you can find me across all social media platforms.
Yeah.
At Mr. Will Roundtree, and that's MrWillRoundTree. All my books on Amazon as well as on audible.com. First book is Credit is King. We're at like almost 60,000 copies. So with no major publishing company, all self-published. My second book, How Full-Time CEO, where I talk about the unglamorized side of entrepreneurship.
Because it got to be told.
It has
to be told. Bro.
I don't tell people it's all glitz and glamours and starbursts and rainbows. No, you're going to lose money. You might lose a marriage. You're going to lose friendship. And you're going to lose some sleep, all that. You might even lose hair. But I'm going to show you how to get out of those circumstances in my book, Full-Time CEO. And the third book is How to Survive and Thrive, where I actually had an opportunity to be a co-author with the founder of Reebok, Mr. Joe Foster, and 15 other entrepreneurs. And I'm talking about billionaires. And for a black man from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to have an opportunity where at one point I couldn't even afford a pair of Reeboks to the point to where I'm writing a book with the guy who created the company.
At the table with him.
Created the company of Reebok. So, and I'm actually working on my 4th book called Debt Ceiling Millionaires. Where I'm going to be showing people how to leverage debt to become millionaires, man. So, that's what we are.
Unbelievable, man. Look, it's been a pleasure, brother.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate you popping up on me, man.
Anytime, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Anytime.
sir, man.
Thank you.
Mr. Will Roundtree, man. I'm your guy. Donnell Thomas, man. This is CDL Cigar and Golf, man. We appreciate your time, man. Peace.